sort of have some assurance that there will be some escape for you, because he can show you where to escape. But if he dies, how are you going to live on? You guys don't have a chance. You have to survive on your own. Somewhere in the New Testament it is revealed, Paul. Is it Paul? Someone revealed it there in the text. He says salvation is of your own. You have to try to make up your own salvation. Now, indirectly say that Christ is not here now, so you guys have to survive your own. You have to make your own way out. After he has gone through all the pains and the struggle and the beatings, he now got to acknowledge that, hey guys, you have to do your own salvation. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That is what it says in the Bible, in the New Testament. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So if these are the statements there, then I'm supposed to be thinking that maybe, because he's a wise God, the whole text should be very wise and logical and sensible for one to read, to understand. The understanding is what is convicting you or making you believe. If the understanding is not there, if people are presenting different and interpreting it differently, then you can end up being confused. He's on the cross. He said, why have you forsaken me? And then you are thinking that he's saying he forsaken me. You leave it like that because it's for a reason that he said that. I don't understand. You should understand why he said that. Relate it in the way you will find why he said that. He said that because the feeling, if anybody in that same situation, he says, why have you forsaken me? He was like, he felt disappointed. He didn't think his father would forsake him. But if he knew the father was going to forsake him, then that means that clause of statement there then bring us to mind to know whatever prophecy has said beforehand, whether he's going to die or not, whatever prophecy have said, whether in the Quran book or in the Jesus Bible or in the Buddhist book, whichever prophecy was said about his death, may not necessarily, because prophecy is some ironical statement, the proverbs and all that, prophetic statement. It might not necessarily mean that he was meant to really die, because as I'm explaining here logically, as long as he lived, we would have got a better chance, or if I'm considered a Christian or you are a Christian, a better chance of salvation than him being dead. The disciples felt very confident when he was alive. When he got caught and they saw that he wasn't doing anything to release himself, they saw it, they didn't say that, after all, he hasn't got any power, he's weak. They all split and ran away. But if he is the commander, demonstrate power all the time. I mean, all the army, you see, they will rattle behind him. And they will be confident, even though if they are going to die in the war, they will be confident to die confidently. Because the army commander has given them the confidence. This is what the leadership is about. He didn't think he was going to die. If that statement is true, that he really said that on the cross, then he didn't think he was going to die. I hope that statement will not be changed from any generation to come. They will try to change it or let it stay there like that, let the story be mean as it's supposed to mean. But if that statement is there, you see the confusion in the whole entire text of the New Testament of the death and the resurrection. The man is supposed to die. We are supposed to believe that prophecy that he's supposed to die. Literal believe it literally that he's supposed to die. And then he's saying that, why have thou forsaken me? I'm sure you go to the theologian school, there will be some explanation to it. I've not been to that area, So I wouldn't even, you have so many interpretations of whatever. You can find out from the theologian school that you belong to. You can find out for your own reading and analyze what I'm saying here. Just analytically put it into perspective and see that what I'm saying doesn't make sense. And then from there, you would then decide what to do. Independent mind for yourself. That would be very good. Whatever might happen to me in life, cares whichever way, I know that my understanding is becoming solid and more sensible to me. I feel relief making sense of something and realizing that I can't make full sense of it, because I've realized that it is not something that can be made sense of. There are contradicting statements. The statements makes it possible to contradict you with something else, some other statements. So then it's a great realization for me to see that I don't have to necessarily be obliged or sort of tied down to it, or I have to be convinced. There's nothing convincing me there. I don't have to become a Christian or to go to heaven, or to believe that there is a heaven there for me, or to believe that Jesus is coming or is not coming, or to believe that he lived or died or he did not die. I don't have to hold the whole test and say that it came from the true wise God that I've been thinking of or that I believe in. There is God, fine. I don't have issue with that. I believe that too, because this is the source of life. As I said, that's where I came from. But I cannot relate this to him. He's more wiser than this to do such an error. The same thing with the Quran. Allah won't do such an error. He won't bring that confusion and error of fighting among anyone or anybody. If Allah is Almighty God, he won't do that. If Allah is not the Almighty God will not do that. Neither will he send a prophet or cause somebody to do that in honor, in his name. He won't make any messenger go out there and do that for him. No, he's wiser than us. If we men know how to do better, then he know how to do best. He should know how to do best. Almighty God is Almighty God. The source of where I came from is more smart. Where I came from, is more smarter and more intelligent than me. Because if it isn't that intelligent and more smart, it wouldn't have invented me. Or I wouldn't have, because my tiny brain has come out of there. So that is the source of wisdom. That is the source of brains. And I should relate these things to him. No. It might some point give me some wise and sensible, proverbs and things that, but in entirely, because it is a storybook. It is a book, compiled book, telling you, giving you a whole idea of something. If the other book does not blend in with the other book, it makes the book tasteless. It makes the books not strong to be, spice you up to come to convince, or it doesn't make the story become one story. And if the story is not one story, then you are bound not to believe that you don't have the full entire story. Neither is it the complete story that you're supposed to fall for. You can't even see it as something coming as one message. So it's different messages in one book, giving you different messages. You don't need different messages. You need one message. The ultimate goal is one. You don't have too many other goals. To live, to have life, to believe in God only, and accept God as the only true God. That is the national anthem. That's the anthem you're aligned to, no matter what religion you belong to. And if that is not the case, then you have to rethink again. That is better outside than inside. Does that mean that you are falling into the hands of the devil? No. In fact, all the denominations are devil to each other. Because the book here does not tell Quran, it doesn't tell Islamic people are not being told by Allah or Muhammad that Christians are God's children. Some point you can realize that he's talking about Jews. He talks that Jews have been given the land and he gave them. He's revealing to them that they are disobedient people and they have become infidels or falling short of the glory of heaven. They have become the devil's children. It's the same way Jews were never being told that Ammonites were God's children. So definitely, you just as the Jews were confessing Jesus being the devil, the same way Jesus was seeing them as also the sons of the devil. So whatever denomination you become part of, you sort of condemn the other. You are advised and you learn something that gives you the right to condemn the other. I'm none of all these things. In order to discover the truth and discover answers. Because if I'm part of that, then I'm bound to see who the devil is or the devil might be. Anything outside of me. So you and I stand in the grounds, and you have a religious and I don't have. And you think that I'm evil. You are doing a great big time mistake. You have no reason to think that way. I'm a seeker for the truth. I have realized something. I'm standing. There are many who are outside of these groups, who have